Good morning from Glacier National Park. It is Friday, July 11th, 2025, and we just left the Loop Trailhead. Goal for today is to head up to Swiftcurrent Mountain. They have a very nice overlook up there. The trail, we've done it before. Last time we did it, it was about 13 miles or just under 13 miles with 4,300 feet of elevation gain, which is pretty significant. Works out to over 660 feet a mile of gain in that first 6 miles. So that's where we're headed today. You can actually get there from Many Glacier as well. You see behind me Heaven's Peak as well as the Garden Wall. Excellent views on this entire hike. When we get to the top, we'll be able to see Swifcurrent Glacier down the Many Glacier Valley as well as back to Heaven's Peak. So looking forward to this great hike in Glacier National Park.
We parked our vehicle at the Loop Trailhead on the Going to the Sun Road on the west side of Glacier National Park. We started out hiking up 4.1 miles to the Granite Park Chalet, and then it's about another 2.2 miles up to the summit of Swiftcurrent Mountain and the fire lookout. This hike encompassed about 4,300 feet of elevation gain in total.
So on this trail at the beginning, you can see that's the Garden Wall, Mount Oberlin right here. You can see Haystack Butte, and if you come over here, this is Heaven's Peak, where we're walking so far early in the morning. Howdy.
Hi. Thank you guys. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you guys.
Yes, you're welcome.
So we are almost to the Granite Park Chalet, but it just kind of opened up for some great views. You can see over here the Highline Trail, which then branches off right up to here, which is the Grinnell Glacier overlook. Grinnell Glacier is right on the other side of that, and that's closed due to bear activity as well as snow. And then the Highline runs along here all the way up to Logan Pass, which is over here, and this is Mount Oberlin. You can actually see Reynolds as well from here. Haystack Butte is right here. Excellent views on the way up to the Granite Park Chalet from the Loop. Like I said, we're about 4 miles in. I think we got about 2.5 more up to Swiftcurrent Mountain. So we just passed the chalet. There's a lot of people there, so we decided to keep going. This right here is Swiftcurrent Mountain, and the fire lookout, that is where we are headed. So we're a little over 4 miles in. I think we got a little over 2 miles left. Here's the chalet, Heaven's Peak. Great views on the way up. one of the few coveted, relatively flat parts of this trail. Doesn't last very long, maybe a quarter mile, and then we start a series of, I believe, 40 switchbacks up to the peak, which is awesome. We are at Swiftcurrent Pass. Now we're going to take the trail junction up to the lookout. Actually, if you keep going this way, you can actually go down to Many Glacier. It's about another 6.8 or 7 miles. But we're going to take the spur trail up to the mountain and the lookout. Stopping on the trail for a second. Kim's having roots and berries. I'm waiting for my Doritos and salted nut roll at the peak. You can see Sherburne back in Many Glacier now from here. As I anticipated, I've already lost count of the switchbacks. So this over here is Swifcurrent Glacier, and you can see all the way down to Swifcurrent Lake and Many Glacier Lodge. So we're almost to the top, and I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, this is the highest point in Glacier National Park that's accessible by a maintained trail. So if you're a trail hiker, where we're about to get right up here is as high as you can get on an official trail. So we are at the top of Swiftcurrent Mountain, about ready to have lunch with a nice view down the Many Glacier Valley and Swifcurrent Glacier. So looking over here, that's Iceberg Peak and Mount Wilbur. Right over that is Iceberg Lake, sits at the bottom of that on the other side, which is pretty cool. So we're heading back down to the loop. A little breezy, a little chilly at the top. Kimberly says it's more than a little chilly. I say it's not too bad, but heading down to the loop. Going down the 40 switchbacks seems, at least at the moment, a little bit easier than coming up. We are off of Swiftcurrent Mountain, approaching Swifcurrent Pass, and again we're going to head back to the loop where we parked our vehicle this morning. The Granite Chalet is in sight. Which means nothing for us because we don't stop there, other than it's 4.1 miles to the loop, which is awesome.
Started our hike on the Loop Trailhead just off the Going to the Sun road. Hiked past the Granite Park Chalet and up to Swiftcurrent Pass and up to Swiftcurrent Mountain, which is the highest trail in Glacier National Park. Our hike ended up being about 13 miles just shy of that with 4,300 feet of elevation gain, but it was a great day in Glacier National Park, Montana.